Hello my dear students. In the last video we discussed about the SR flip-flop, and in this video we are going to discuss about the D, JK and T flip-flops. Start with the D flip-flop. Okay, why we need this D flip-flop? What are the disadvantages of SR flip-flop? Let us look into that first. The SR flip-flop, as you know, it requires two inputs, one to set the flip-flop and another to reset the flip-flop. That is, when S is equal to 1 and R is equal to 0, the flip-flop will be in the set state, and when S is equal to 0 and R is equal to 1, the flip-flop will be in the reset state. Okay, and the other two conditions, that is when S is equal to R is equal to 0, there occurs no change in the state of the flip-flop, and when S is equal to R is equal to 1, it is an invalid state, it is an indeterminate state, forbidden state in the SR flip-flop. That is the main disadvantage of this SR flip-flop. Okay, so by using an inverter, we can set and reset the outputs with only one input. So instead of having two inputs, we can set and reset the flip-flop using one input and an inverter. So there comes the need of this D flip-flop, which consists of only one input. Okay, and this D flip-flop ensures that at the same time both the inputs, that is S and R, are never equal to 1. And in D flip-flop, the single input D is referred to as the data input or as the delay flip-flop. The logic symbol of this D flip-flop consists of only one input line with two output lines, namely Q and Q bar. And this flip-flop is driven by a clock signal. As we just said, by using an inverter and a single input, we can set and reset the flip-flop. Okay, so this D flip-flop can be constructed using a clocked SR flip-flop with an inverter connected between the inputs, allowing for a single input data line. So we are placing one inverter between the inputs of the gated SR flip-flop. Okay, so this S and R terminal input terminals are connected by means of an inverter. Okay, let's look into the logic diagram of the same. So we here, as we said, we'll be having only single input line. Okay, this S and R terminals of the steering gates of the gated SR flip-flop is tied by means of an inverter. Okay, so this data input line is connected to the S line, and to the R input line we are connecting the D complement. Okay, so by means of a gated SR flip-flop we can construct a D flip-flop by tying this S and R with the help of an inverter. Okay. Okay, now let's discuss about the behavior of the D flip-flop. If D is equal to 1, the flip-flop goes to the logic 1 state, and if D is equal to 0, the flip-flop goes to the logic 0 state. Now let's draw the corresponding characteristic table which defines this behavior of D flip-flop as when D is equal to 0 and clock is equal to 1, the Q will be in the reset state or in the logic 0 state. And if clock is equal to 1 and D is equal to 1, the flip-flop moves to the logic 1 state, that is the set state. If the clock is equal to 0, the value of the D is in the don't care condition. Okay, it won't consider the input value if the clock is inactive. Okay. So the corresponding characteristic equation based on this table is Q is equal to D. Q is equal to D. Okay, now let's draw the excitation table which shows what input is necessary to generate a given output. Okay, if the previous state is 0 and the next state we need to have it as 0, then the input value D should be 0 because we need to have the next state as 0. Okay, so to generate the 0 output, we need to give the input as 0. So the input is 0. Okay, if the previous state is 0 and the next state we need to have it as 1, then the D input also should be 1. Okay, previously if it is in 1 and if the next state should be 0, then the D value should be 0. If previously, if it is in the one state and the next state should also be in the one state, then the d value should be in the one state. That is Qn plus 1 is equal to Dn. That is the characteristic equation of this D flip-flop. Applications of D flip-flop. This D flip-flop can be used as a binary divider or as a frequency divider to produce a divide by 2 counter circuit. It can also be used as a data latch to hold or remember the data present on its data input, thereby acting a bit like a single bit memory device. So D flip-flop, whatever be the data, the output will be the same as the D input, right? So it holds or remember the data present on its input line. It can also be used to create delay lines which are used in digital signal processing system. And so this D can also be called as delay flip-flop. Okay. It can act as an event detectors. That is, we can use a D flip-flop to detect the event of switching on of the light. Let's move on to the discussion about the JK flip-flop. Simple JK flip-flop is the most widely used of all the flip-flop designs and is considered to be the universal flip-flop circuit. So this JK flip-flop is considered to be as the universal flip-flop circuit. Okay. JK flip-flop is a refined and improved version of SR flip-flop that has been introduced to solve the problem of forbidden state that occurs in SR flip-flop when both the inputs are 1. That is, when S is equal to R is equal to 1, the state in the SR flip-flop is an invalid state or an indeterminate state. So to avoid that condition, this JK flip-flop is introduced. The JK flip-flop has no invalid or forbidden input states as in the case of SR latch. The JK flip-flop has two inputs similar to the SR flip-flop. This JK flip-flop also has two inputs J and K and two outputs Q and Q bar. The inputs J and K letters chosen by its inventor Jack Kilby. This JK flip-flop is very similar to the SR flip-flop. Here also we'll be having two inputs J and K. The J input is similar to the S input and K input is similar to the R input. The only difference is that the JK flip-flop avoids the forbidden state in the SR flip-flop. Okay, so there is no forbidden state in the JK flip-flop. Okay. Similar to the SR flip-flop, we'll be having the characterization table. The only difference in the table is in the 1-1 state. Okay. So when J is equal to 0 and K is equal to 0, there is no change in the state of the flip-flop. Fine. If J is equal to 0 and K is equal to 1, the state corresponds to the R. Okay, so R means reset. So when J is equal to 0 and K is equal to 1, the flip-flop will be resetted, and when J is equal to 1 and K is equal to 0, the flip-flop goes to the set state. And the third last condition, when J is equal to K is equal to 1, the flip-flop will move to the toggle state. Toggle state means it switches to the opposite state. That is, if Q is equal to 0, then it will move to the logic 1 state. If Q is equal to 1, it moves to the 0 state. That means it toggles, it switches it to the opposite state. So this is the characterization table that defines the logical properties of JK flip-flop. Okay. This JK flip-flops can come in two clock varieties. It can be either negative edge triggered or positive edge triggered. If it is positive edge triggered, there is no bubble in the logic symbol. If it is negative edge triggered, there should be a bubble in the clock line. Now let's look into the state table of this JK flip-flop. This Q1 denotes the previous state of the flip-flop and this Qn plus 1 denotes the next state. Okay, if the JK combination is 0, 0, there should not be any change in the state. If it is in the 0 state, it remains in the 0 state. If it is in the 1 state, it remains in the 1 state. Fine. If J is equal to 0 and K is equal to 1, it should be in the reset state. So if it is previously in the reset state, it remains in the 0 state. If it is in the 1 state, it should move to the 0 state. Fine. Then when J is equal to 1 and K is equal to 0, the flip-flop should goes to the set state, right? So if it is in the 0 state, it should move to the 1 state. If it is in the 1 state, it remains in the 1 state. Fine. If it is in the 1-1 condition, then the flip-flop should toggle its previous state. If the previous state is 0, it should toggle to the 1 state. If previously it is in the 1 state, it should toggle to the 0 state. Okay, now let's draw the K-map to find out the characteristic equation. We are drawing this K-map from this state table. Okay, for the combination 0, 0, 0, the corresponding Qn plus 1 is 0. Okay, then for the combination 1, 1, 1, for the combination 1, 1, 1, the value is 0. So we are filling this K-map based on this state table. Okay, now let's simplify this. We'll be getting two pairs. From the pair 1, we'll be getting the simplified expression as J into Q bar, and from the pair 2, the simplified expression is K bar Q. And so the characteristic equation of this JK flip-flop is Qn plus 1 is equal to J into Q bar plus K bar into Q. Okay, so Qn plus 1 is equal to J into Q bar plus K bar into Q. Okay. Now let's discuss about the timing diagram of this JK flip-flop. Here we are considering a negative edge triggered JK flip-flop. Okay, so at the first negative edge of this clock pulse, the J value is 1 and K value is 1. That means the flip-flop should move to the toggle state. Previously it is in the 0 state, so it should move to the logic 1 state. Fine. During the next negative clock edge, J is equal to K is equal to 0. That means it should halt the state. It should remain in that previous state. So it remains in the logic 1 state. Fine. Then during the next negative edge, J is equal to 0 and K is equal to 1. That means we should move to the reset state. So the flip-flop goes to the reset state. Fine. During the next negative edge, the J value is 1 with K value as 0. That means the flip-flop should goes to the set state. So it should move to the logic 1 state. Okay, so this is the timing diagram which explains the working of or the behavior of a JK flip-flop. The JK flip-flop is basically a gated SR flip-flop. Okay, so in the gated SR flip-flop, we'll be having two steering gates, right? So these two steering gates will be having only two inputs in the case of SR flip-flop. But in the case of this JK flip-flop, this two input AND gate have been replaced with three input AND gates. And the third input of each gate receives a feedback from the Q and Q bar. Okay, so the S is equal to J into Q bar and R is equal to K into Q. Okay, so this is the logic diagram of this JK flip-flop constructed using SR flip-flop. So since we are having two implementations of this SR latch, that means by using this NOR or by using this NAND, we can implement an SR latch, right? So this JK flip-flop can also be constructed using NOR SR latch and NAND SR latch. Okay, if you are using NOR SR latch, the steering gates are AND gates. Okay, to the first AND gate, we are connecting this R, right? In the SR latch, this steering gate will be connected to the R terminal. So here we are connecting that one to the K input terminal. So to the first or to the first NOR gate, the inputs are K into Q, and to the second NOR gate, the inputs are J into Q bar. Okay. Then using this NAND SR latch, the steering gates are NAND gate. Okay. So the steering gates are NAND gate. The J or the S value is equal to J into Q bar, and K or the R value is equal to K into Q. Okay, so this is the implementation of this JK flip-flop using NOR SR latch and NAND SR latch. The major difference is that in the case of NOR SR latch, we are making use of AND gates as the steering inputs, and in the case of NAND SR latch, we are using NAND gates as the steering gates. Let's look into the realization of this JK flip-flop using D flip-flop. So to create a JK flip-flop using D flip-flop, first step is we need to generate the conversion table. Okay, so we are having J, K, Qn and Qn plus 1 as the input value. So if J is equal to 0 and K is equal to 0 and previous state is 0 and Qn plus 1 is 0, then the D input should be 0. For the 0, 0 combination, if the previous state is 1 and the next state required is 1, then the D input should be 1. Then for the 0, 1 combination, that means reset state, right? So Qn is equal to 0, then Qn plus 1 is equal to 0. If Qn is equal to 1, then the Qn plus 1 should move to the reset state, 0 state. Since we need to have the 0 state, the input line, the D value should also be 0. Then for the 1, 0 combination, that is J is equal to 1 and K is equal to 0, the flip-flop should move to the set state. So whatever be the previous state, it should move to the 1 state. Okay, so if it is the Qn plus 1 value is 1, then the output value should also be, or the D value should also be logic 1. And for this state 1, 1 condition, the previous value will be toggled. Okay, so if it is previously 0, the next state will be having the value 1. If previously it is 1, it should be 0. So if Qn plus is equal to 1, the D input should be 1. If Qn plus 1 is equal to 0, the D input should be 0. Now let's draw the K map for the required input-output relation. And we can form the characteristic equation by simplifying this K map as D is equal to J into Q bar N plus K bar into Qn. Okay, so D is equal to J into Q bar N plus K bar into Qn. Okay, now let's draw the logic diagram. D is equal to J into Q bar plus K bar into Q. Okay, so we are making use of this two AND gates and an OR gate to have this equation. D is equal to J into Q bar plus K bar into Q. Okay, so this is the method for constructing a JK flip-flop using D flip-flop. For JK flip-flop, if J is equal to K is equal to 1 and if clock is equal to 1 for a long period of time, then Q output will toggle as long as the clock is high, because it is level triggered flip-flop. And if this clock signal is high for a long period of time and the input values are J is equal to K is equal to 1, then there is a chance for toggling more than once. And this problem is called race around condition in the JK flip-flop. So this problem can be avoided by ensuring that the clock input is at logic 1 only for a very short time. Master-slave flip-flop eliminates this race around condition or this racing problem. For this racing problem, we are making use of this master-slave flip-flop, which is basically a combination of two JK flip-flops connected together in a series. So one flip-flop will act as a master and the second one will act as a slave. Okay, the output from the master flip-flop is connected as the inputs of the slave flip-flop, whose output is fed back to the inputs of the master slave flip-flop. Okay, so the output from the master flip-flop is connected to the two inputs of the slave flip-flop, and the output from the slave flip-flop is fed back to the inputs of the master slave flip-flop. In addition to these flip-flops, the circuit also includes an inverter. The inverter is connected to clock pulse in such a way that the inverted clock pulse is given to the slave flip-flop. That is, if the master works in the positive edge of the clock, then the slave is working in the negative edge of the clock. That is, if clock is equal to 0 for a master flip-flop, then clock is equal to 1 for a slave flip-flop. And if clock is equal to 1 for a master flip-flop, then it becomes 0 for the slave flip-flop. Okay, so we are using an inverter to connect the clock pulses of this master and the slave. So as we said, this master slave flip-flop will be having two flip-flops, master and slave. The output from the master JK flip-flop will be connected as the input of the slave flip-flop, and the output from the slave is connected as the feedback path to the master. Also, we are placing one inverter on the clock line. This master flip-flop is positive level triggered, whereas the slave is negative triggered, and so the master responds before the slave. Okay. If J is equal to 0 and K is equal to 1, the high Q bar output of the master goes to the K input of the slave, and the negative edge of the clock forces the slave to reset. That is, Q becomes 0. Thus, the slave copies the master. Okay. If J is equal to 1 and K is equal to 0, Q is equal to 1, right? So, this high Q output of the master goes to the J input of the slave, and during the negative transition of the clock, the slave sets, copying the master. Okay. If J is equal to 1 and K is equal to 1, the master toggles on the positive transition of the clock, and thus the slave toggles on the negative transition of the clock. If J is equal to 0 and K is equal to 0, the flip-flop is disabled and the Q remains unchanged. JK flip-flops is widely used in electronic circuits with the aim to store the state information of the device. Following are the major applications. It can be used for shift registers, data storage, data transfer, counters, frequency dividers, bounds elimination switch, and in storage registers. Let's discuss about the T flip-flop. The T in T flip-flop stands for toggle or trigger. Toggling means changing the state from one to another, switching the state from one to another. Okay, the toggle flip-flops have a single input and have two outputs, namely Q and Q bar, which change the state on the positive edge or the negative edge of a clock pulse. So based on that, we'll be having two varieties: positive edge triggered T flip-flop and negative edge triggered T flip-flop. T flip-flop can be easily constructed by connecting together the J and K inputs of a basic JK flip-flop, where the J input behaves like a set command and the K input behaves like a reset command. So this J and K are tied together. So when J is equal to K is equal to 1, it toggles its state, right? So this J and the K of the JK flip-flop is tied together to form a T flip-flop. Okay. So now let's look into the characteristic table. If the value of T is 0 and the previous state is 0, there is no change in the state. Previously, if it is in the one state also, there is no change in the state, fine. If T is equal to 1 and the previous state is 0, it toggles to the logic 1 state. If the previous state is 1, then it toggles to the logic 0 state. So the characteristic equation is Qn plus 1 is equal to T bar into Qn plus T into Q bar n. Okay. Now let's look into the timing diagram. So during the positive clock pulse at the time T1, if Q is equal to 0, or if q is equal to 1, it toggles its state. During the next clock pulse, if t is equal to 1, then it toggles its state. Okay, during the next positive clock pulse, if t is equal to 1, the q will move to the logic 0 state, that is it toggles its state. Okay, so this j and k inputs of the JK flip-flop is tied together to form a T flip-flop. We can construct a T flip-flop using D flip-flop as well as SR flip-flop. Let us look into the construction using D flip-flop first. In D flip-flop, the output after performing the XOR operation of the T input with the Q output is passed as the D input. So D is equal to T XOR Q. Okay. We can also construct the T flip-flop using SR flip-flop. In the SR flip-flop, as we know, we'll be having two steering gates. To the two steering gates, the two inputs are S and R. So this S and R are tied together to form a toggle input. Okay, so the toggle input is passed to the steering and gates as the input. Okay, and these gates are connected to the clock signal also. So the T flip-flop is designed by passing AND gates output as input to the NOR gate of the SR flip-flop. The application of this T flip-flop, it can be used as digital counters. It counts the pulses or events, and it can be made by connecting series of flip-flops. It can be used as a data storage where the flip-flops are connected in series in which each flip-flop stores one bit of information. It can be used as a frequency divider circuit by feeding back the complementary output Q bar to the T input. It can be used as a 2-bit parallel load register and can be used as a bounce elimination switch. In this video, we discussed about the D flip-flop, JK flip-flop and the T flip-flop. Thank you.